Hello and welcome to Sports 360 Degree, your weekly dose of all the big sporting events across the globe. In the next half an hour, we will analyze key reasons behind India's defeat against Australia in the three-match ODI series. Captains in IPL 2023 will walk out for the toss with two different team sheets and hand in their final 11s after the toss. Ronaldo gains 15 million new Instagram followers in 30 days. Napoli slaps a £150 million price tag on Victor Osimhen. But first up, the cover story you are tracking this week. Team India suffered just their third home ODI series loss in 8 years as Australia sealed the three-match assignment by clinching the final contest by 21 runs at the M.A. Chidambaram Stadium in Chennai. Here are the key reasons behind India's loss of the three-match ODI series against Australia. Australia's lower orders scored too many runs. With only 3 wickets left to take, Rohit Sharma and company were expected to wrap up the innings quickly. But Sean Abbott, Ashton Agar, Mitchell Starc and Adam Zampa, the visitors' last 4 batters added a combined 63 runs, hitting 3 fours and 3 sixes between them. Australia were eventually bowled out for 269 with 1 over to spare, and the runs that their low order made proved to be difference in the end. The men in blue should have done a better job at cleaning up the tail. Failure of the top order across all formats. India's top order failing across all formats is becoming a headache for the team management. The Indian top order failed in the first ODI against Australia in Mumbai as Mitchell Starc ran through them. The match was ultimately won thanks to the heroics of KL Rahul and Ravindra Jadeja with the bat. A repeat of the issues was seen in the ongoing ODI in Vizag as Starc once again was the chief destroyer in the match. Batters lacked game awareness. Some of the shots India's batter played to be dismissed were inexcusable. Adam Zampa and Ashton Agar were clearly the biggest wicket-taking threats for the Aussies, but the home side's batter bizarrely tried to take them on repeatedly. KL Rahul tried to hoist Zampa over the straight boundary and found long on. Virat Kohli survived one lazy chip down the ground of Agar before managing to pick out long off. Zampa had 2 overs to bowl in the third power play. He managed to prize out Hardik and Jadeja, who tried attacking him by heaving across the line. Even captain Rohit Sharma, who was the first to be dismissed, played a pulled shot that lacked conviction. Sports Desk, DD India. The much-awaited Indian Premier League 2023 is just around the corner and will commence from March 31. The first match of the league will be played between defending champions Gujarat Titans and Chennai Super Kings at the Narendra Modi Stadium in Ahmedabad. Let's have a look at the major changes made by the BCCI for the marquee event. Teams to have 2 team sheets at toss. Captains in IPL 2023 will walk out for the toss with 2 different team sheets and hand in their final 11s after the toss. That is one of the significant tweaks to the IPL's playing conditions. The IPL becomes the second T20 franchisee league after South Africa's T20 league to allow teams to announce their 11s after the toss. In South Africa T20, which staged its inaugural season earlier this year, teams put up 13 names on the team sheets initially before announcing their final 11s after the toss. DRS for wide and no balls. Players can now challenge the wide and no ball decisions of the umpires using the decision review system. The Women's Premier League 2023 became the first tournament to introduce the rule, and now IPL will also see it being implemented in their 16th edition. In the Women's Premier League opener, Mumbai Indians captain Harmanpreet Kaur used the review to challenge a wide call by the umpire and became the first skipper to avail the benefit. New impact player rule. BCCI has also added a new impact player rule in the IPL 2023 that allows every team to replace one of their on-field players with any of the 4 substitutes at any moment of the match. However, the replaced player will no longer be able to participate further in the match, not even as a substitute fielder. Notably, if a team names 4 foreign players in their playing 11, then the impact player can only be an Indian. Apart from this, unfair movement from the wicketkeeper will result in a dead ball and 5 penalty runs. Sports Desk, DD India. And shifting focus to football, Cristiano Ronaldo has gained over 15 million Instagram followers in the last 30 days, while Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe have been losing them. The Portuguese superstar, who is the most followed person on Instagram, now boasts 564 million fans on the Meta-owned social network. Ronaldo's stars continue to rise despite the five-time Ballon d'Or winner now plying his trade in Saudi Arabia's Al Nassr. Cristiano Ronaldo has seen a surge in popularity on Instagram, while Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe have had the opposite fate. The Portuguese ace, despite a move to Saudi Arabian side Al Nassr, has gained over 15 million followers on popular social networking app. He remains the most followed person on the platform with over 564 million fans. Actor Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson came third with a gain of 5 million followers. Messi and Mbappe, on the other hand, have suffered a drop in popularity. The Argentine forward has lost close to 570,000 followers. Following his 2022 FIFA World Cup success, a poor run of form at Paris Saint-Germain has contributed to the slide. It is also believed that uncertainty regarding his future is also a factor. The 35-year-old now has about 443 million followers. Meanwhile, Mbappe has also lost about 250,000 followers. His total is at about 101 million. However, his stock is expected to rise overall as he attempts to establish himself as world's best in the future after Messi-Ronaldo era. Former Paris Saint-Germain defender Maxwell has claimed that Mbappe, alongside Manchester City striker Erling Haaland, will be the future star of football. The Brazilian, however, went on to add that Argentine striker still holds the title of the best player in the world. Despite their success on the international stage at the World Cup, the PSG saw their side get knocked out of the Champions League against Bayern Munich. Ronaldo, meanwhile, has overcome a forgettable end to 2022 when he was released by Manchester United. He has, however, enjoyed a positive spell with Saudi side Al Nassr so far. Sports Desk, DD India. According to reports, Napoli will demand £150 million for their star striker Victor Osimhen this summer, with Manchester United, Chelsea chasing his signature. Osimhen is one of the most sought-after strikers in Europe and has turned his heads with clinical displays that have seen him net 25 goals for the Napoli and helped them go 19 points clear at the top of the Serie A. Napoli have reportedly slapped a £150 million price tag on Chelsea and Manchester United target Victor Osimhen. The Nigerian striker has become one of Europe's most sought-after frontmen. Napoli are under no pressure to sell Osimhen and thus have placed an astronomical fee on the forward. He is under contract with Luciano Spalletti's side until 2025. The club president Aurelio De Laurentiis is not interested in listening to offer below that valuation. The 24-year-old has been in prolific form for Napoli, scoring 25 goals in 29 games across competitions. He leads the Serie A goal-scoring charts with 21 goals and has been protagonist for Spalletti's side as they close in on the league title. Osimhen's stock is rising, and with that, so has interest in the striker's services. Chelsea and Manchester United are expected to enter the summer transfer window and make a blockbuster centre-forward signings. The Blues have lacked an out-and-out goal scorer throughout the shaky season under Graham Potter. Kai Havertz has performed in a false nine role and has 9 goals in 36 games. He is Chelsea's top goal scorer and they have only managed 29 goals in the Premier League. Romelu Lukaku is currently on loan at Inter Milan. However, reports claim that Potter doesn't have faith in the Belgian rediscovering form when he returns to the club in the summer. Meanwhile, Manchester United have boasted a proven goal scorer in Marcus Rashford. The English forward has bagged 27 goals in 44 appearances, but is at his best when playing on the left of a front three. Erik ten Hag lured Wout Weghorst to the Red Devils in January on loan. The Dutch striker has managed just 2 goals in 18 games and is expected to return to parent club Burnley in the summer. Anthony Martial has struggled with the injury issues. Meanwhile, Rashford has had to move into central role. Osimhen is without a doubt one of Europe's most in-demand forwards and will likely be coveted by a number of sides in the summer. However, his astronomical fee may be off-putting to potential suitors. Sports Desk, DD India. Germany's star midfielder Mesut Ozil, who helped Germany in 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil, hanged up his boot at the age of 34. The former Arsenal and Real Madrid midfielder made 645 appearances for the club and country, in which he scored 114 goals and had 222 assists.
Germany's World Cup winning midfielder Mesut Ozil announced his retirement from football at the age of 34 on Wednesday. The former Real Madrid and Arsenal player was a key member of Germany's World Cup winning side in Brazil in 2014. He retired from the squad in 2018 amid a political debate in Germany about an influx of migrants and after backlash over a photograph taken with Turkey's President Tayyip Erdogan, saying he faced racism and disrespect over his Turkish ancestry. Ozil made 645 appearances for club and country, in which he scored 114 goals and had 222 assists. He began his senior career with Schalke 04 in Germany before moving to Werder Bremen. His performances earned him a call-up to Germany's squad for the 2010 World Cup, where he helped his country reach the semi-finals. He signed for Real Madrid a month after the World Cup and spent 3 years in Spain, winning one La Liga title and the Spanish Super Cup. Ozil made 105 La Liga appearances for Real, scoring 19 goals. In a post on his Twitter account, Mesut wrote, "After thoughtful consideration, I have announced my immediate retirement from professional football. I have had the privilege to be a professional football player for almost 17 years now, and I feel incredibly thankful for the opportunity. But in recent weeks and months, having also suffered some injuries, it's become more and more clear that it's time to leave the big stage of football. It has been an amazing journey filled with unforgettable moments and emotions. I want to thank my clubs, Schalke 04, Werder Bremen, Real Madrid, Arsenal FC, Fenerbahce, Başakşehir, and the coaches who supported me, plus teammates who have become friends. Special thanks must go to my family members and my closest friends. They have been a part of my journey from day one and have given me so much love and support throughout the good times and the bad. Thank you to all my fans who have shown me so much love, no matter the circumstances and no matter which club I was representing." Mesut joined Arsenal in 2013, helping them win the first of 4 FA Cup titles the following year. He scored 33 Premier League goals and made 59 assists in his time in North London. He also played a starring role for Germany at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil, starting all 7 of their games as they became the first European team to win the tournament on South American soil. He won 92 caps for Germany, scoring 23 goals. Ozil joined Turkish side Fenerbahce in 2021 after Arsenal terminated his contract and then moved to Istanbul Başakşehir less than a year later. Sports Desk, DD India.
World Athletics have banned the transgender women from competing in the female category at the international events. A working group will be set up to conduct further research into the transgender eligibility guidelines. The World Athletic Council has also voted to reduce the amount of blood testosterone permitted with athletes with difference in sex development, such as South African star Caster Semenya.
World Athletics voted on Thursday to ban transgender women from competing in elite female competitions and tighten testosterone restrictions for other athletes. The council has agreed to exclude male to female transgender athletes who have been through male puberty from female world ranking competitions from March 31 this year. World Athletics President Sebastian Coe said that the decision to exclude transgender women who had gone through what he called male puberty was based on what he said was the overarching need to protect the female category.
The Council has agreed to exclude male to female transgender athletes who have been through male puberty from female world ranking competitions from March the 31st this year. However, in order to do further research into our transgender eligibility guidelines, we will be establishing a working group whose remit will be to consult specifically with transgender athletes to seek views on competing in athletics, to review and maybe commission additional research where there is currently limited research, and to put forward recommendations to Council. Where the science is insufficient to justify maintaining testosterone suppression for transgender athletes, the Council agreed it must be guided by our overarching principle, which is to protect the female category.
The new rules will also impact athletes with what is known as differences in sex development. The most famous might be South Africa's two-time Olympic 800-meter winner, Caster Semenya, who has XY chromosomes and blood testosterone levels in the male range. The council vote will require DSD athletes such as Semenya and Nambia's silver medalist Christian Mboma to take testosterone-reducing medication and maintain low levels of the hormone for 2 years before they are cleared to compete. That could keep some DSD athletes out of events for 24 months, although Co said some could apply for a shorter 6-month monitoring period. The move banning trans women comes as some claim athletes born male have innate physical advantages over those born female. The tighter measures around one of the most contentious and divisive issues in sport follow a similar move by World Aquatics in 2022. Co announced the formation of a working group which will be chaired by a transgender athlete to further study the issue of trans inclusion. Sports Desk, DD India.
IOC President Thomas Bach has said that the Olympic Games and its ruling body official cannot act like a referee in the global political disputes, defending the IOC's plans to include Russians and Belarusian athletes at the Paris 2024 Games. Speaking at a political forum, Bach said that games should stay away from politics, otherwise they would lose their uniting power, citing examples of past boycotts in 1970s and 1980s.
In recent development regarding IOC's plans to include Russian and Belarusian athletes at the Paris 2024 Games, IOC President Thomas Bach, defending the IOC's plans, stated that the Olympic Games and its rulings, the International Olympic Committee, cannot be referees in global political disputes in 2024 Paris Olympics. In a speech at a political forum, Bach warned that if the Games got involved in politics, they would lose their ability to bring people together. He cited previous boycotts in the 1970s and 80s as evidence. In his lecture, Bach argued that politics shouldn't determine an athlete's participation because sports and players will become political pawns.
If politics decide who can take part in a competition, then sports and athletes become tools of politics. It is then impossible for sport to transfer its uniting powers. We know well that politics rules the world. We know well that our decisions have political implications and we have to include that in our thinking. But we should not make the mistake to raise ourselves to referees of political disputes because we will be crushed by these political powers.
IOC issued sanctions against Russia and Belarus following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The sporting world took stringent action against them and boycotted them. After more than a year, International Olympic Committee feels it is not fair to completely banish their athletes from the Olympics after more than a year for fear of a return to the Cold War era boycotts. Before Bach's speech, a small group of protesters, including Ukrainian refugees, assembled outside the performance hall to voice their opposition to any athletes from Belarus and Russia competing at the Paris Games. They carried placards demanding a total ban on Russian and Belarusian athletes, as well as images of bombed athletic venues.
I am here because I am stunned that, sadly yet again, a German has become Putin's staples holder, just like our former Chancellor. It's simply embarrassing. I think it's a scandal that Ukrainian athletes will be asked to stand on the podium next to Russian athletes who will laugh and smile at cameras while they are thinking of their deceased colleagues, family members and friends. I just don't understand that.
Earlier, UN experts commended the International Olympic Committee for considering allowing individual athletes from Russia and Belarus to take part in international sports competitions as neutral athletes. On 25th January, and following discussions with two special rapporteurs, the Executive Board of the International Olympic Committee issued a statement referring to the need to respect the rights of all athletes to be treated without any discrimination in accordance with the Olympic Charter. IOC then set out a pathway for competitors from Russia and Belarus to earn Olympic slots through Asian qualifying and to compete as neutral athletes in Paris next year. Some federations have since readmitted Russians and Belarusians in competitions, but there is also considerable opposition to the IOC plans.
I find it interesting that all of international federations, the fencing federation was the first to readmit Russian athletes. It should be recalled that Mr. Bach was an Olympic gold winner in fencing.
Ukraine, which has spearheaded the call to ban Russian and Belarusian athletes, has also threatened with boycott of the Paris Olympic should they be allowed to compete there. No final decision has been taken on this matter. Sports Desk, DD India.
Indian archers who dominated the Archery Asia Cup with rich haul of medals were felicitated by the Archery Association of India in Delhi. Indian archers finished the tournament with a rich haul of 10 medals, 5 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze medal.
These are the happy faces of Indian archers who dominated the Asia Cup Archery Stage 1 World Ranking Tournament with flying colours. In the absence of senior players, India's 16-member contingent made the country proud. India finished with a rich haul of 10 medals including 5 gold, 4 silver and 1 bronze. On returning home, the President of Archery Association of India, Arjun Munda, honoured the archers and also assured that in the coming years, the graph of success of Indian archers will continue to grow upwards.
हमारे आर्चरी में जो आपने देखा यहाँ पर गोल्ड मेडल, सिल्वर मेडल, ब्रॉन्ज मेडल लेकर इंटरनेशनल लेवल में यानी एशिया कप में किस तरीके से विजेता बन करके आए। हमारे खिलाड़ियों में काफ़ी पोटेंशियल है और उसी को नर्सर करने में, उसे आगे बढ़ाने में हम लगातार कोशिश कर रहे हैं। सभी संस्थाओं के साथ मिल कर के कैसे आगे बढ़े, उसमें आर्चरी एसोसिएशन ऑफ इंडिया, साई के साथ मिलकर, एनटीपीसी के साथ मिलकर के और भारत सरकार के खेल मंत्रालय के साथ मिलकर के लगातार काम कर रहा है।
The archers were also very happy with their performance and said this win has boosted their morale too.
प्रैक्टिस बहुत अच्छी चेक करने की अभी एशियन गेम्स के लिए टीम में सिलेक्ट होने की पूरी कोशिश चल रही है। दोबारा अगर मौका मिलता है ट्रायल का तो पूरी कोशिश है कि टीम में सिलेक्ट होना है और अच्छी परफॉर्मेंस देकर आनी है, वहाँ पे मेडल चाहिए।
मैं कहूँगा कि मेंटल साइड बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होती है आर्चरी में। आपका अप्रोच क्या है, आपकी मेंटल टफनेस कितनी किस लेवल की है, ये सबसे ज़्यादा मैटर करता है।
India secured gold medals in the men's recurve and compound event, women's compound event, recurve men's team event and compound women's team event. India bagged silver medals in men's recurve and compound event, women's compound event and compound men's team event. The bronze medal came in compound mixed team event. Now the next task for the young archers will be to dominate the Asian Games. Sports Desk, DT India.
Ocean race fleet reached Point Nemo, 2,688 kilometers away from land, with a cruise closer to the astronauts in the International Space Station orbiting the world 400 kilometers above them. Point Nemo is regarded as the loneliest place on Earth. More in our next report.
How would you find it if you have to visit the loneliest place on Earth? Sailing the ocean. The ocean race fleet reaches Point Nemo, the point regarded as the loneliest place on Earth. The Nemo point is 2,688 kilometers away from land in every direction, as leg 3 from Cape Town, South Africa to Itajai, Brazil continued on March 21st. The remoteness sees the cruise closer to astronauts in the International Space Station orbiting the world 400 kilometers above them than anyone else.
So there's no other place on the planet where you can get farther from land than Point Nemo, and I think that really puts what we're doing in perspective. We're crazy. There's no one else down here, and that is very apparent when you look at the chart and you talk about Point Nemo and what it represents. I mean, the big line, if you will, about Point Nemo is that when we're down here, the closest people to us, other than our competitors, will be the people in the space station.
Throughout the third leg, the teams continue groundbreaking scientific exploration in the Southern Ocean, collecting more data about the environment, with those metrics helping assess the impact of climate change and is used to inform and influence key decisions by governments across the world. 11th Hour Racing Team and Team Malaysia carry ocean packs on board to take water samples to measure levels of carbon dioxide, oxygen, salinity, and temperature, providing vital climate change insights.
So it's the first time that really systematically the race deploys 10 of these drift buoys around Antarctica in this zone of the ocean where there are no vessels and no weather data without these buoys.
So where the teams are now, as they're racing around Antarctica and through the Southern Ocean, capturing data about climate change and microplastics, this is where research vessels rarely go. It's very expensive, it's very hard to reach because it's so remote. So it's so important that we provide this data. We're filling in gaps for scientists. And the more information that they have, the more data we supply them with, the better we can understand the ocean, which means the better we can protect it.
The Ocean Race fleet passed Point Nemo just after 17:30 UTC on Tuesday afternoon, leaving the most remote and isolated place on the ocean in their wake. It likely didn't feel as isolated as it usually would. All 4 boats passed the waypoint within a span of 23 minutes and at the head of the fleet. Team Malaysia just eked out ahead of Team Holcim PRB to claim bragging rights by a mere 30 seconds. This is not what most race fans expected to see after 23 days and 9,000 miles of racing. It's not exactly what the sailors were anticipating either. Sports Desk, DD India.
And that's all in this edition of Sports 360 Degree. Before we wrap up, we leave you with the visuals of human chains of hundreds on Sydney's Bondi Beach to raise mental health awareness. Namaskar.